Hello, hello, hello. Welcome.
Hello. Hi.
Yes, that was yeah, the timer barely popped up for me, so hopefully my internet's going okay. But yes, we are here. We are here to talk about Star Trek, I believe, and nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just randomly we didn't have a plan for the episode at all, and I just randomly thought of a Star Trek episode I want to talk about, and that's all we're talking about. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
And we could string it together.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
um No, well, today is actually kind of a special episode because um, I think we do have to take a victory lap real quick on Borderlands, which was originally on the podcast agenda.
For today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was. It
Yeah.
was something where it's like, okay, that's probably going to be popular. I threw it on the agenda. Then I started seeing trailers for it. I was like, oof, this looks really bad.
After I saw the first trailer, and I think the first time I talked to you, I believe the words on my mouth were, "Please tell me we're not watching that." It looks bad.
Well, and then it kind of became a thing where it's like, well, let's just see, and then it's like, okay, we'll push it off, and then if it becomes a huge box office success, I guess we'll go check it out. But we don't have to worry about that.
No,
It is not only has it been critically destroyed. Hold on, let me pull up box office numbers because holy shit. Let's see. Weekend. Okay, what the heck happened to Box Office Mojo? Oh, latest weekend. Here we go. Weekend chart. So Deadpool and Wolverine 1. It Ends With Us comes in number 2. So Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively got the number 1 and number 2 spot. Hey. Then we got Twisters. Then Borderlands. And
really?
In its first fucking weekend. 8.6 million on a budget of like, I want to say it was like 110 million or something like that. It was something like that. I think I saw. Let's see. I thought they posted budget here, but no matter what, it is a solid fucking bomb.
It's a certified.
Although we might have to watch It Ends With Us now. That is extremely good for romantic comedy, but yeah,
it'd be a change of pace, but yeah.
Not really in our wheelhouse, but yeah,
but like it'd be all right.
Listen, It Ends With Us didn't get amazing reviews either. Did a hell of a lot better than Borderlands, which opened up to 0% when Rotten Tomatoes first opened. Now, I'm not saying we should judge a movie by Rotten Tomatoes, but I am saying that's bad. Like, holy shit, that's bad. So yeah, we will not be covering Borderlands unless I tell you guys what. I will split it with you, Bobby. If somebody wants to super chat $100, we'll cover Borderlands.
Yeah.
I think that's
not like now us watching like a Neil Bren movie. We'll put ourselves through that torture for free,
dude. We should probably find a time to watch a Neil Breen movie because Neil Breen is actually entertaining.
I mean, Faithful Findings is probably his opus. Like,
yeah, I still haven't just actually sat down and watched one of his movies, and it's been on
my God,
it's been a for like
while,
ever.
And I know I know I didn't stay awake the entire time.
Mm-hmm. It's there's a difference
kind of even waking up
Borderlands.
Yeah, just kind of waking up going, oh shit, this is still on.
But yeah, so the only other thing I can think of, I don't know, did you see any of the D23 stuff? We don't have to go over it if you did, because I forgot to bring it up to you.
Some.
Okay.
I saw Toy Story 5. They're going to be going up against Smart Toys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, listen, I didn't even think Toy Story 4 Toy Story 4 didn't thrill me, but wasn't particularly great either. But I'm kind of
3, and I thought
I'm
bookended it really well.
Yeah, I think 2 is the best one, but I thought 3 was a great ending to just, kind of bookend the trilogy. Um, I don't know. I mean, the thing to keep in mind is I'm also 43 at this point. I am way outside the demographic for Toy
Oh
Story.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, me too.
but I
Yeah, but
don't for it at all. Incredibles, I'm also outside the demographic for that, but I'm also probably a bit more so in the demographic because I do like superhero stuff. I'm not super thrilled for Incredibles 3 because Incredibles 2 didn't thrill me all that much. And again, it wasn't that it was bad. It just
oh, I didn't hear they're doing an Incredibles 3.
yes, yes.
Okay, it'll be
Yeah.
great.
Okay, so they're doing live action Lilo and
I've heard
Stitch
this,
as
and I've
well.
known this, and I've known this. Did they
Yeah.
did they show? Did we get a look at Stitch?
Well, let's see. I don't want to.
All right.
Okay.
This isn't Sonic, so yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good actually. Um, so Lilo and Stitch is actually something where my daughter was addicted to that movie for like 10 years ago. So I've seen it a fucking lot. I think of all the live action remakes, that one has one of the better potentials to be something pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, it's a live action remake made by a soulless corporation that like these projects almost always suck. So
Statistically, they have all been bad. I think
I like Jon Favreau's Jungle Book.
You know which
Aladdin
one was better?
watchable.
You know which one was better? The Jungle Book they did in the 90s.
Yeah, I know. An argument can be made for that. Well, I mean, speaking of live action remakes, we got Snow White as well. You know what frustrates me most about Snow White?
They CGI'd all the dwarfs?
Not well. That is an issue, but
that's what frustrates me about it. But yes,
but all the chuds will be screaming about how Rachel Ziegler is like 1/4 Latina and how that's not appropriate for Snow White. And then I'll find myself in the position of saying, "Hey, it's a stupid fucking argument. Can you guys shut up about it?" And then I find myself in the position of defending a movie that I don't care about and is going to be a soulless cash grab, purely soulless cash grab. Because I want to stress everything from Disney is a cash grab, but like, there's no artistry behind the live action Snow White. Jesus Christ, man,
this is absolutely a cash grab. Yeah.
Yes.
Like this is like a popcorn flick. This is just definitely popcorn flick. Yeah.
I mean that's the thing. So like Snow White and Lilo and Stitch, they fall under the same camp. But I just feel like Lilo and Stitch has better potential.
And they haven't even announced the commemorative bucket that is apparently now becoming a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what I like about the commemorative buckets though is the sexual innuendos they're doing with them, which I kind of love.
We can thank at least Dune 2 did do something good for them.
Yeah, Dune 2, and then Deadpool and Wolverine just leaned into it.
Oh, I really thought like all movie companies wouldn't put them in, but then yet I see one for Beetlejuice that's one of the sandworms that just is wrapping around, and it's like, oh, Tim, you sick fuck.
We got
Mona 2. I've seen that trailer. Yeah,
it's fine.
They released that one a while ago, though.
Yeah, I mean, Moana was definitely released after I was watching that stuff, obviously. So I've seen it through
Frozen
my kids.
3, good.
Yeah,
Lord.
Frozen 3. We all knew Frozen 3 would happen. Frozen 2 was a big hit, and Frozen 2 kind of sucked, but
Frozen
it was a big hit.
It was like how Disney used to be when we were kids. Yeah. It was like how Disney was when we were kids. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Frozen, but like it's not like I've watched it a lot in the past few years. Zootopia 2, kind of on the same thing, although I don't know, I'm a bit more interested in Zootopia 2 than Frozen 3, but yeah. Here's a big one. Skeleton Crew. Did you see the trailer for this?
Stills. production stills, but not
Okay.
trailer.
Well, they did release the official trailer. I didn't realize how Goonies like it would be. It's essentially about a group of kids going on an adventure in the Star Wars universe, and they encounter a Jedi who is Jude Law. And that's pretty much what we know at this point.
Now, is Jude Law like gray Jedi or Sith leaning Jedi or full light?
I don't think
Jedi?
we know. At least I don't know.
Man, I hope he's a bad guy. Man, I hope he's
like
evil.
it's one of those things where I didn't realize it'd be as child leaning as it is. But at the same time, I don't know. Jude Law is like consistently a good actor, so like we'll get a good performance from him no matter what happens with this series.
Yeah. Jude Law rarely turns in a bad performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not what he does.
Even when he's like at his most cockiest.
Yeah.
Like in I Heart Huckabees. Man, he was punchable in that movie. Man, he was so good in that movie.
Then Act All Along.
I've seen it.
We'll cover it on the podcast. I mean, I hope
we'll
see.
Well, I figured we're gonna watch the Agatha show whenever it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think we both have been kind of waiting for that since the end of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Like, only like 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's gone through lots of title changes. Well, we'll see. I mean, Catherine Hahn is a weird pick for that role, but like she did a good job. So it's like, okay, let's see what she does.
Even on rewatches, it's just more of like, nah, this lady's no good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know on rewatch in WandaVision, you definitely pick up all the signs a lot earlier where it's like, oh, yeah, no, she's not good.
Yeah, and then just even more of like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
She just... Okay.
And then I know there are snippets released of Fantastic Four First Steps that haven't been officially released, so I haven't seen them yet. To my understanding, the footage and stuff is a lot of rehearsal footage, so it's not like actual shot footage. There's been a picture of Joseph Quinn in a Fantastic Four uniform that I refuse to believe is the final uniform. It's probably some sort of test uniform or something. But of course, everybody's getting outraged by it because
I found it. I did some digging. I can't remember where, but I did find the footage.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. It did look pretty much like some behind the scenes stuff. And I have seen that photo. I really hope that's like the one that he has when they add the flames, because that's the only way I think that one would look good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's the one I think you're talking about, I really.
I mean, it looks cheap, but like, who knows?
Maybe it's like when they're first figuring it out.
Yeah.
Because this one is supposed to take place in the 60s. So
yes, and it's supposed to be an alternate Earth as well. So we will see. And then Daredevil Born Again was kind of the same thing. They had like snippets, but it was, to my understanding, it was like production footage and stuff like that. It wasn't final shot or anything. But they did verify. We got Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Deborah Ann Woll, Eldon Hansen. And it doesn't list here, but like I saw John Bernthal in the photos as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. They got the cast back.
Mm-hmm.
They got the band back together. That's awesome.
And this is what you're most excited for, Bobby. Avatar 3, Fire and Ash. We don't have anything about this, but I will say the logo looks cool.
It's going to be the same as the first two, only they're going to have fire and ash.
We will see, but oh no. But real quick, I would be shocked if it actually got released in December 19th, 2025 with the way James Cameron is. Like, these movies get pushed back all the time.
If it releases so quickly from the first one, it's going to suck.
Oh, and I don't know
now,
I don't know if you saw the tweet, but Bruce Campbell, when this was posted, he retweeted and said, "Yeah, man, Jim and I have been talking." So yeah, I would love to see Ash in an Avatar movie. Let's do it.
However, I did read that Bruce Campbell is going to be doing the voice of Ash in a
Yeah.
Evil Dead cartoon.
Yeah, I heard about that. So like after he essentially after he said I'm retiring the character, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
After a few years, he's like, yeah, we'll do a cartoon. And I'm like, okay, cool.
He said he'd always voice the character, but he's
Mhm.
retired from portraying him on film.
Mhm. We got another.
Yeah, so when we that horror hound we went to back in March.
Mhm.
So you know the guy who was there doing comics of the Evil Dead comics?
No, I didn't see him, but
So
I
yeah,
will
that
believe
guy
you.
was there. So this guy famously, I believe he was also one of the forces or artists behind the Jason versus Freddy versus Ash.
Oh yeah.
And he never really secured the likeness rights with Bruce.
Oh.
So there's some bad blood between them.
Oof.
So yeah, you'll never see them on the con together.
Oh.
Like at first I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I really did some more digging. And then I found that I was like, oh, well, fuck that guy. I'm not
Mhm.
stopping
Yeah.
in his booth.
He should have probably like tried to work something out. No.
I think Bruce threatened to punch him the last con they were at together.
Oh Jesus. They
He
don't
walked
get
from
along.
it. Yeah, no, we're no, but yeah, I'm on the kin side with this one, man.
Mhm. I would have to do more research, but it does sound fishy to me. Like it is his likeness. You need to, maybe just talk to him. I mean, most of the time, especially if it's lower budget stuff, like they just roll with it. I mean,
Yeah, I think it
Stephen
was
King's.
because I think Sam owns and Rob Tapper, I believe they own the Evil Dead story rights,
Mhm.
which he secured that. But the likeness is what it's something super complicated. I can't remember exactly what, but it's like he okayed it with Rob and Sam, but didn't okay Bruce's likeness.
Mhm.
So it's
That's pretty
yeah.
weird.
It's something strange, but it's just
And
kind
it
of
does
more.
strike me as something that could be easily overlooked and be like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. Let's fix this."
But if you're gonna be, but yeah,
Mhm.
if Bruce still has those feelings towards him, I imagine he wasn't cooperative with it.
Mhm. So another project being released is Freaky Friday 2. I saw Freaky Friday once when it came out. It's fine. I don't know. When are we going to get Vice Versa 2? Let's get Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage back.
When are we gonna get a sequel to the Charlie Sheen sci-fi thriller, The Arrival?
There you go.
Like that's something
Yes.
really fun because that was a very
That was a
overlooked
pretty
film.
cool one. Yeah.
I mean, CGI didn't age well, but like
No. Here is something I am interested in. Tron Ares. We're getting a Tron 3.
oh, I'm interested in it for a different reason.
Yeah. Well, there is. I mean, number one, we got Jeff Bridges returning. No, I don't see Bruce Boxleitner in here though, which is strange. I mean, you would think you'd bring in Tron, but okay. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross doing the soundtrack, which
Nine
that
Inch
sounds
Nails.
awesome.
Nine
Yeah.
Inch Nails doing the soundtrack. Man, I can't wait just for the closer teases.
I mean, for the most part, I'm kind of okay with this. The only thing that really discourages me is freaking Jared Leto is in this, and I'm like, I'm so burnt out on Jared Leto. I'm sorry, I'm just done with him at this point.
Oh.
I even think he's a talented actor, but I just don't care anymore.
I don't. I really don't.
It's. I'm not gonna lie. It's almost how I feel about Johnny Depp, where I'm just like, I think they're really talented, but I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can agree with you on Depp.
Mm-hmm.
There's just some that I just feel are insufferable human beings.
Yeah.
And I just can't. Like Tom Cruise, for example.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, Tom Cruise, I think, sells charm a bit better in the movies, but as far as being an insufferable human being, yeah.
Just win or lose.
Yeah. Monster Jam and Win or Lose. These are new projects I don't know anything about. Disney Pixar projects. Apparently, Monster Jam is a project for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay. So it's gonna bomb?
Possibly.
Oh yeah. Poor Rock. I really wish he could just catch a break in Hollywood. and not just be the big muscle man.
Yeah, but yeah, those are that's D23. Oh wait, is there more?
I don't know.
We got Dream Productions, LO, Hoppers. Oh yes, a new Lion King trailer.
The Mufasa trailer, yeah.
You remember that Lion King where like it was still anime, but it was pure animated, so they took all the emotions out of the face of the characters and did the movie that way.
And the fur looked weird in the wind. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Remember that? Yeah. Let's do a fucking sequel to that one. I mean, at the same time, I can't really blame them because it was like one of the most successful movies of all time. That movie made so much money, and okay, Ironheart and/or season 2. Oh, Mandalorian Grogu, yes. I don't really know much about Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Okay, there's more here than when I looked on Saturday, but yeah. I mean, Ironheart and/or season 2 and Mandalorian Grogu will definitely cover.
Oh, they're finally doing Ironheart?
Yes. Well, I mean, it hasn't been postponed that long, I don't think. We will see. We will see.
I feel it was put down. I thought it was almost near extinguished after the Marvels.
Oh no. We will have to see. But yeah, they're still pushing it forward. I know Armor Wars is going forward as well.
That's good.
We will see. Yeah, I think last I heard, Armor Wars got promoted to being a full-fledged movie, which sounds good to me.
I read somewhere that they had these people had a brilliant idea, and that's that they recast Terrence Howard as Kane.
You probably asked too much money.
Oh, he definitely would.
And it's like, yeah, nope, you're out. You're out. Listen, I am Kang. I am the creator of the universe, and the universe is a swirly world of, I don't even know half the shit he says, but it gets
Here's my new math. Here's my new math.
I solved the universe with my new math.
That's almost as bad as going
and
around
the newscaster just going, what?
That's almost a lot like, just never mind.
Yeah. But we do have a regular show today.
We do, believe it or not. We're not just rambling about nonsense.
Yeah. Listen, so we got Primus, and then we're going to talk about a Star Trek episode after all that. It's mostly Primus. Mostly
less Claypool related.
Yeah,
today.
Mostly, yeah.
Sometimes we take a break from the huge. Sometimes we have to call an audible, and this week we called an audible.
Yeah. Well, the original plan was to do a concert, but couldn't happen. God, last week was insane anyway. So
yeah. No, yeah, I would have been that would have been a rough week for me as well. So
it was already a rough week as it was. But you know what? We did a Primus album ranking. We're going to talk about Electric Apricot, which, if you're not familiar with, is Les Claypool's directorial debut, and I believe his only movie. But
yes, I mean, he's directed a few of the Primus music videos.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we're going to talk about a Star Trek Voyager episode, just because I wanted to. I think, I don't know. It's my birthday. I was like, let's add something. It's one of my favorite Voyager episodes. And we will go ahead and say the link between all this stuff is that they both somewhat reference Spinal Tap.
In a way.
Kinda. It's a stretch, okay?
It is.
We're going with it, okay? But yes, do you want to go ahead and go album ranking?
Yeah. So we're doing this the same as Pink Floyd, right?
Oh, I don't know if you've been here for one of the
we did Pink Floyd with with Pink Floyd with George.
Yes. It's actually it'll be kind of the same. I have the thing up here. So we can go through it. I will tell you I wanted to go through all the I did listen to that, but all the last 3 EPs I didn't get around to. But yeah, I'm up to date with everything else I got on album ranking.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, no, it's pretty much the same thing. Do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
I will go first
Okay.
since this was my grand idea.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, I mean, actually, you can discuss. Actually, before we get really into it, do you want to go over kind of our personal histories with Primus? I know for me, I don't have much to say, but yeah.
Sure. I think like a lot of people, I first discovered them in like kind of late 90s new metal phase. Like era of music is when I first personally discovered them. And just being kind of exposed more song by song all through kind of high school. And I always kind of thought, okay, they're a little weird, but they're all right.
Mhm.
I eventually became more of a fan of Les's solo work. So that's like Frog Brigade, Bucket of Burning Brains, Holy Mackerel, like Sausage. That's the other one, yeah. And always just kind of was, Primus is okay. I just like it like the other stuff. And I think it just took a re-listening of Frizzle Fry. Yeah, Frizzle Fry. That really kind of made me go, I get it. Like,
Mhm.
I get it. And yeah, I've kind of just been a fan of what they've done since.
Mhm. I know for me, listen, my first introduction to Primus was probably a lot of people's first introduction. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I always remember they play the end of Primus the
Yes,
Cat
they do.
in that,
Tommy the
which is
Cat.
awesome. They pop up in there. Yeah, Tommy the Cat, Primus the Cat.
Tommy's the
And
Cat.
that is awesome. When I got the soundtrack, because I loved all the Bill and Ted soundtracks, I got that one. That I thought that was a cool song. I didn't really dive into them, but then I heard people talk about them. So I definitely didn't pirate a whole bunch of their albums so I could listen to them. I definitely didn't do
No,
that. That's no.
never.
No, I would never do that because that is illegal. It is copyright infringement. It is wrong. It's not like Napster or Audio Galaxy were the main forms of listening to music at the time. So I definitely didn't use those.
Yeah,
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Quit claiming stuff.
I certainly never used the Pirate Bay.
Yeah. But all seriousness aside, I dove in and I dug it. It was good stuff. I will admit, until recently, I was a little bit behind. Pretty much, I had pretty much their whole discography and EPs on my collection up to Anti-Pop. And then the past couple weeks, I've had to update it with the 3 albums that were missing. And I still don't have the newer EPs. But yeah.
Conspira Paranoid?
Yeah. And
the Dastardating 7?
Well, no, I have the Saturating 7. Yeah. I have that there. Well, that's listed as an album, even though they have EPs that are longer. It gets confusing.
It does.
But
we made a special objection for like the 3 most recent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I always liked about Les Claypool, as long as I've listened to him, is like I've never heard a bassist like dominate like a sound as much as he does. I've heard great bassists. I mean, fuck. I mean, Mike Rutherford, Chris Squire, fucking Geddy Lee, fucking amazing bassist in my
Tony
opinion.
Levin.
Yes, Tony Levin. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
When we see Beat, that will be the second time I've seen Tony Levin, because Tony Levin's also Peter Gabriel's touring bassist.
That'll be my first time seeing Tony Levin, and I'm excited about that, just because it's I might through the show be like, dude, that's Tony Levin right there.
Yeah.
Like,
but
holy shit, that man is amazing.
Yeah. But Les Claypool, like, all those guys are amazing. I don't want to diminish those guys, but Les Claypool, like, when he's on a song, you can tell he is like dominating the song with that bass, for better or worse. But he has a very unique style that I thoroughly enjoy. And somehow, even though it's a very unique style, he thinks of ways to keep it creative and fresh. So yeah, I guess I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty much that's about as deep as it goes. But yes, I guess are we and I do plan to see him live in some form at some point. It won't be this year, but at some point it will happen.
Oh yeah.
But you ready to rank some albums?
Yeah,
right.
let's do it. Okay, first let's have the honorable discussion about the EPs. Since
Okay.
we're not, so we could talk about those one at a time.
So I had so hold on, let me go ahead. I have those. So
Miscellaneous.
I'm pretty bad about I didn't get to these last three. Conspirator. I don't know if you have anything to add, but like the June 2010 rehearsal.
Yeah, I have that.
Then
one.
animals should not try to act like people. Those three I do not have, and I did not get around to them.
The only one for that on my streaming service is just Me Lamo Mud, which is just the Spanish version of My Name is Mud.
Oh,
So June rehearsals, we can miss that one. Yeah, I don't have that one.
okay. I mean, I will say, we there are some. I didn't know if we want to talk about that one as well.
Oh, we can, yeah. But
But,
let's talk about the first one, which is
miscellaneous debris.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. So this is just like a 20-minute EP. Some amazing covers on this. Let me
Tippy
dig up this one real
Toes.
fast.
Yeah, Tippy Toes is on here. Making Plans for Nigel.
Making Plans for Nigel is
Have
such
a
a good
Cigar.
cover. Oh my god.
Cigar
Have a
by
cigar.
Pink Floyd. Yeah.
And okay, I'm a Genesis fan. We have to bring up Intruder too.
I was saving that one for you because I'm not as big of a Genesis fan as you. I enjoy them, but
well, I actually love the picks they do for Peter Gabriel. So they cover 2 Peter Gabriel songs throughout these, and it's not like popular stuff. They're not doing like Sledgehammer or anything.
No, they're not. They're not playing the hits. They are going for the deep cut, the B sides.
Yeah,
and
which
cuts. Yeah, like
I love. Like Intruder's always been one of those great, like super creepy stalker songs that he did.
You could even say that about their Pink Floyd pick on this too, because I mean, if I were to say like to a band covered Pink Floyd, you know, you would immediately think like probably Money or Comfortably Numb or Wish You Were Here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, but like Have a Cigar is probably 4th on that list or 5th or maybe even 6th. Mm-hmm. But still, that one's just okay, guys. All right. Now, if it was something like, you know, Be Careful with That Axe, Eugene.
Yeah. That's a deep cut.
But the project he later did with Sean Lennon, they did one of covers too. And one of the covers on there is they do Boris the Spider by The Who, which is awesome. Like, and Interstellar Overdrive. And Interstellar Overdrive.
Nice.
Yeah, that one is okay. I'm okay with that project, but I enjoy that album. Let me put it that way. I'm okay with that project, but I just do enjoy that album. So I think the next EP on here is Rhinoplasty.
Rhinoplasty, yeah. Yeah, this is one I'm familiar with as well. It's got like remixes and live songs, but it's
some
also
covers.
Got a couple of covers. We got Peter Gabriel back with his hit song, The Family and the Fishing Net.
They also are covering Silly Putty.
Yes.
And Jerry Reed's Amos Moses.
Mm-hmm. No, I do like what they pick for covers, and typically their covers are very much in their style, but like they work on their own. Yeah, I enjoy those quite a bit. And then and then the Chocolate Factory, Primus and the Chocolate Factory, with the Fungi Ensemble.
Oh no, it's animals should not try to act like people.
Oh, we can go to that one. Again, this will be you because we're outside of my.
Okay. This has definitely like that sound I associate more with Primus today.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Last Superpower, aka Rapscallion, is just really great drive and bass, and like less with that sitting in a hook. It's great. This is just a great one. That's all I really have to say about this one. Not too many like deep bangers, but there's just it's all Primus.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Now the Chocolate Factory EP.
Yes. So, well, I mean, I think this is technically an album, but it's wonky. So I enjoyed this quite a bit.
Funny.
It is very, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but yes. It's Wonka, but
so I know for the tour for this, because this is one of the tours I wasn't able to afford or just swing at the time. But they did the whole Willy Wonka thing. Like Les dressed as Willy Wonka. Each poster for that
sounds
tour
awesome.
had him, or like they had like little Oompa Loompa guys, giant Oompa Loompa masks. They had little busts of them on either side of the stage. It looked like the Chocolate Factory up the stage. Like they sold chocolate bars.
Yeah.
Like they even had one like with the album. If you bought the album and you get a golden album, like vinyl,
yeah,
you get like a bunch of cool, rare, limited edition crap.
Yeah.
But this one's great, yeah. And I'd say best track on here is Pure Imagination. Easy.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
I think going over here. Yeah, Pure Imagination was definitely the standout.
Or maybe
I don't know. I got a whole bunch
Semi-Wondrous
here
Boat Ride. Semi-Wondrous Boat Ride.
Yes. But yeah, I also have like Candyman highlighted, Golden Ticket. Yeah, there's some solid stuff here.
Cheer Up Charlie. I Want It Now. I believe that's Lair sitting.
It might be. Okay. And then did you have anything for 2010 rehearsals?
No, I do not have anything for that.
What about this guy?
Oh yeah.
Conspiranoid.
I actually have not listened to this one this much. But this is the newest music by Primus. Yes.
I wish I had tracked it down. Of course I don't. This week was too insane.
It's okay. But I think the title track I've listened to, it's all right.
Okay.
It's Primus.
Yeah.
Les isn't quite like sitting about being tweaked out and everything, but
Yeah, no, there's definitely a sound change. I almost want to say maybe anti-pop was kind of when they transitioned a bit. But it still is very much Primus. I don't want to be like, oh, they've completely changed everything. But like you can tell there's maybe a bit more structure, but for better and worse too. But yes. All right. Do you want to dive into the regular album rankings?
All right, let's album rank it. Yeah.
Okay. What's your number 8?
Green Nagahide.
Ooh. All right.
Now I don't hate this album. Like I really.
Well, actually, I do want to stress one thing going into this. There's no albums on here I dislike.
Yeah. I don't hate any of it. I love it. It's just if I had my pick of which one I'm going to listen to, I would not reach for this one first. Now, there's some songs on here I really like. I really enjoy. I think 3 of my Primus playlist has either Jilly's on Smack or Lee Van Cleef on it because I like those songs.
Jilly on Smack is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great song. Salmon Man I also like too.
But, well, we'll get into it, but yeah.
The last Salmon Man. Yeah, and Prelude to a Crawl. That's a nice intro to the album. But yeah, like I said, not really my favorite. Eyes of the Squirrel. That one's okay too.
All right, so we will go to my number 8 then, and I might get some hate for a lot of my lower picks, but I want to stress I like all these, but like I have issues with a lot of these early albums, but like none of them are bad. But I'm actually going for Pork Soda on my number 8.
Fair.
Pork Soda is it's. So like a lot of the albums, like I almost want to say like their first era, Fizzle Fry to I guess Rhinoplasty or Brown Album. The albums have a tendency to have some really, really good songs, but then also have some filler. And I felt like this album got dominated by a lot of filler. That being said, there are some really great ones. My highlights on here, I got My Name is Mud, of course. Welcome to This World, DMV, of course. Nature Boy
is probably
Mr. Crinkle, of course. Hamburger Train, which was, that's the one on re-listen to. I was like, oh, I kind of like how this one is just like
one of my favorite
jam.
One of my favorite bass lines by him, actually.
Yeah,
Hamburger Train.
There's lots of cool, really cool songs on here, but there's also lots of ones where it's like where I'm just kind of waiting for the next song. So not a bad album by any means, but definitely my least favorite of this bunch. And then that'd bring me to number 7. And this one is kind of the same thing with a little exception, but it's Brown Album. I think Brown Album has an amazing beginning. And then I feel like it kind of trails off with a couple of good songs popping up. Bob's Party Time Lounge is a fun one towards the end. Camelback Cinema gets stuck in my head. Shake Hands with Beef. But like the intro with the return of Sathington. I can't even read the full title. And then we get Fisticuffs. Yeah, Fisticuffs and then Golden Boy. Like that might be some of my favorite introductory album stuff for Primus. I just wish the rest of the album was as good. But yeah, That's my number 7. What's your number 7, Bobby?
The Dastarine 7.
Ooh.
Okay, so I saw them on this tour,
and
they played this album in its entirety.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now, here, I actually have the set list saved. Give me just a moment here.
But I will say on Ministry was almost all new stuff as well.
Now, how this set went is Sgt. Baker, Too Many Puppies, Hondo Hofdan, it's off of Green Nigan, and Groundhog's Day, American Life, and then they played all of this album in its entirety. And then Electric Grapevine, Welcome to This World, My Name is Mud, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, and Is It Luck? I could tell you, for a bunch of fan base that will normally just yell the band sucks as a gag, they were not receptive of it. The album's okay. I just kind of think nobody really got what Les was going for with it. So I feel like it kind of goes over the heads of a lot of the audience. And that's no fault of Les or any fan. I just don't think that this would have been better done as a side project.
Possibly.
Not as Primus.
Mine's right. I have that a little bit higher, but not a lot. We aren't too far away from where I get to that one. But well, I'll get into it. But your number 6? Yeah.
Now my number 6. This one might be unpopular, but Sailing the Seas of Cheese.
No, you're off. So, anyways, this is a solo podcast. How you guys doing? We're doing okay. Yeah, you might guess I have this one quite a bit higher, but
I guessed. I mean, this has a lot of my favorites. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I feel they're too salt and peppered in, and it's obviously they didn't write the other stuff then, but I have to put I enjoy them all, so this was very hard for me to do.
These are all good albums.
They're all great albums, So, like I said, this one hurt to do.
But it does get to a point where it's like they're all good, but like you gotta put them in.
It was between this and Pork Soda, and
you should have done Pork Soda.
Yeah.
But yeah, what so that's your number, that must be your number 6. Yes. So my number 6. Again, like I feel like a lot of this is kind of the same, although for different reasons, because it's Tales for the Punch Bowl. Again, really good album overall.
As is my 5.
Okay, so we're getting right back to it pretty soon. We're gonna start overlapping, I think, soon.
Yeah.
This one is like, again, there's some good ones here. I feel like flow wise, this one's probably doing a bit better than the past ones, but there's lots of filler still. Now, of course, this one has Winona's Big Brown Beaver, which is just a sweet story about a woman and her pet mammal, obviously,
And
no innuendo at all. And
yeah, and another all-time favorite of mine, Southbound Pachyderm.
Yeah.
The song that made me a fan.
The song that made
that's the song that made me a fan of this band.
Yeah. I also have Professor Nutbutter's. God, I can't even see the whole full title, but yeah, the first track.
Yeah.
Hellbound in 17 and a half. Dell Davis Tree Farm. Over Electric Grapevine and Over the Tweak Again are some of my high tracks. But yeah, it is the issue with, I feel like, early Primus. There's lots of filler, and lots of times that filler doesn't quite work for me. But the overall good songs carry the rest of the album. So again, not a bad album, but this is my number 6. And then that brings me to number 5, which we've already talked about because it's Desaturating 7.
Yeah.
So this is when Primus is in a different air. Like, I feel like during a lot of their earlier stuff, they're doing lots of filler stuff to get to the really good songs. And then during this air, I feel like we don't have the filler, but the songs are a bit more mid. So like there isn't a bad track on here, in my opinion. I think they're all good, but none of them particularly stand out either. It's kind of this interesting thing. Like in a different mood, I could have ranked this lower too, because it's good. Like I listen to it and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with this per se, but like nothing gets stuck in my head. Nothing really lingers. I listen to it. It's done. I move on. Whereas all the other albums have songs that stick out to me. It's good, but yeah, definitely not one of their best in my opinion. And I think that brings us to your number 5, Bobby.
5, which I said was Punch Bowl, Tales from the Punch Bowl. But actually, I'm gonna amend that and just make it be Pork Soda.
Oh, okay.
Upon further review, I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of bangers on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's bangers on all of them, but
Pork Soda, and again, like there's golden nuggets on this one.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean so hard to like poo it, but again, you have to kind of make your sacrifices when doing album rankings.
Dude, I already went over Pork Soda, and Pork Soda fucking has My Name is Mud, DMV, and Mr. Crinkle, which are some of my all-time favorite Primus songs.
DMV is just such a relatable fucking song.
I went to the DMV earlier today, so
I try to wear like this or my other Primus shirt every time I have to go.
Yeah,
like I make it just a point, just every so often I'll just get one guy who will look and go. Like just that knowing,
But yeah, it's a damn good album.
All right, so this would lead me to my number 3,
4. I believe number 4. Yeah.
So number 4, yep, Brown album. I mean, Over the Falls is a great song. Tane, Kalamazoo. Yeah. Clinton, Wrestling Bones, Fisticuffs. Yeah, like so many good songs on here. But this one is definitely, I think they really started to hone that sound that just hooks you and gets you in, and is kind of almost the genesis for my following picks. My
Well, I
top three, I guess.
believe we are at my number 4 now. So my number 4, we're going back to the early days. We're going with their first album. This one, Fizzle Fry, awesome fucking album. I was shocked because like a lot of their later stuff would have more filler. This one really doesn't. This one flows actually better than early albums usually do from bands, especially bands this good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of used to bands this good having either first albums that kind of are blah or first albums that are drastically different from the sounds that they would go with later. This one isn't any of those. This one is just a really solid album. Not their best, but it's really fucking good. And you get freaking John the Fisherman. We get Too Many Buppies. We get To Defy the Laws of Tradition. We got Mr. Know-It-All. The Toys Go Winding Down. Herald of the Rocks. Holy shit. Hello Skinny Constantinople. Great goddamn songs. Goddamn. Just, and it sets up the band really well. Like, it's one of those times where, like, if you're like, hey, what's a good Primus album to start with? This is probably a good pick. It gets you set up pretty well. And then now we're getting to the nitty gritty. So my number 3 was actually Green Naga Hide here. So this is just one like I just thoroughly enjoyed this from beginning to end. Maybe upon re-listen it will go down, but like this is one I'm less familiar with. But I just thought like the highlight songs were really good. And there is filler with this, but like I felt the filler kept it going much better than previous albums did. So this one overall worked very well for me. Let me go over some of my song highlights here because I mean there's Jillian Smack, which and probably my favorite song, which you didn't bring up, was Extinction Burst. I love Extinction Burst.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, Tragedy, It's a Comin'. Last Salmon Man, Pen Crawler. Yeah, I just really love a couple of these songs. They really stood out to me, and that's why it ranks so high for me. But we're in the nitty gritty now. That was my number 3. Where are you at, Bobby, with your number 3?
Anti-pop.
Ooh,
I know, controversial, but I really like the grittier, heavier sound on this one. I mean, like Lacquerhead, Mama Didn't Raise No Fool, Electric, The Anti-Pop, Natural Joe, Electric Uncle Sam. I mean, I thoroughly enjoy this album. Like, I thoroughly enjoy this. This is one that I just like. I love it more than because it's like I know it's like. Across the fan base, it's one of their most panned albums, but I really love it. And it's nice because you hear this genesis of like all the stuff that Les was trying to expand and do creatively as a songwriter that he later did with, I want to say at this time it would have been Oysterhead.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe Frog Brigade. But just like as an artist, I like listening to them from their first release and then like progress because you hear them grow and progress as an artist and even as a musician at their craft. And this one, I just think it's just such a beautifully interesting album because it has so many elements that's Primus, but also so much stuff that he's toying around with. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And my number 2?
Yes.
Oh.
We're getting to children at this point, man.
Tales from the Punch Bowl. My further review, I bumped it up because I love Southbound Pachyderm. I just
it's a good one.
And Over the Electric Grapevine. Del Davis Tree Farm. Yeah, like this is another one that I feel is a perfect album, back and forth, like just perfect all around.
All right, and I think that brings us to my number 2.
Yes.
So my number 2, and I'll be wrapping up my list here in shortly. My number 2 is Selling the Seas of Cheese.
Fair.
Of their first albums. Like, yeah, this one is like, it's got the hit songs, but it's got the filler. But the filler here, I feel really helps carry the album and helps. Like, there's no point in this album where I'm like, okay, let's get to the next song. I'm like just following it from beginning to end and thoroughly fucking enjoying it. Yeah, and this one it's got all the classics. It won't surprise me if this one is number 1 for a lot of people's list. Not quite my number 1. My number 1 will probably be very controversial, but you know, we got Sergeant Baker, American Life, Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, 11, Is It Luck, Tommy the Cat, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey right there. Fish On, just good stuff. Fantastic album. And here I am with my number 1. It's anti-pop for me. Number 1, like if it comes to, for some reason, when I think of Primus anymore, the song that always pops into my head is anti-pop. I don't know what it is about it, but like I love that song.
Lacquerhead for me.
Yeah, but this is like almost like
gasoline.
Yeah, that is a good one too. But this is like, you know, imagine a Primus album. Like there's a 17-second song at the beginning, but then that's it. There's no filler, and just every single song's an absolute banger that flows the album from beginning to end. And that's what anti-pop is for me, and I absolutely love it. There's not a bad song on here, and it's all like peak Primus in my opinion. And I kind of consider this kind of the transition because there's less filler going forward with Primus in future albums. Now the tracks won't be quite as good as this one, but like I almost felt like this is like the perfect mix of like the old style where they got like banger songs, but then the newer style where they aren't like filling it up with as much extra. I don't know. I love this album. This is like the Primus album I'd probably listen to the most. Thoroughly enjoy it. And then your number 1, Bobby.
Frizzle Fry.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's a good first one.
Yeah,
it is a really good first one.
Such a great starter album. Like, and yeah, I completely agree with you. If there's an album, like if somebody says like I want to get into Primus, what album should I listen to? Yeah, you should listen to Frizzle Fry. Yeah, you should listen to Frizzle Fry. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Welcome to This World has always been just favorite. I think the first time I watched that South Park episode and that song came on, I was already like a very avid Primus listener by that point. Oh, I lost my damn mind. I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm trying to find it here. I'm going to put a link in our chat to a playlist that I have made.
Ooh, nice.
Of all my favorite Les songs. Now, this is Primus and side projects and everything, so. Yeah.
By the way, when is Oysterhead doing a new album? Those goddamn stuff.
I know that they're just doing the one. There, I put that in the chat. So you can listen to it. And it's a lot of Les Claypool music. And it's wonderful.
Nice.
And if you think doing this list was hard, imagine trying to pick all your favorites.
Yeah.
And keep it under 100 songs.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
I got close. It's 95.
Ooh. But I guess that brings us to Electric Apricot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they knew either. Les Claypool, written and directed movie. This is about this is a real band, guys. It's a real jam band and their real trials and tribulations. It's brutal. It's
With this
rough.
drummer who suspiciously sounds and looks a lot like Les Claypool.
It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. They got tapers that look exactly like Seth Green and Matt Stone. Coincidence. Okay. Absolute fucking coincidence.
Yeah, this is definitely a movie, a National Lampoon's movie, first and foremost.
Yeah.
This was a National Lampoon's movie.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, it does say National Lampoon's Presents.
Mhm.
Well, this is it's very much very Spinal Tap inspired, obviously. And they reference that pretty directly, pretty quickly, talking about the points on the logo, the lightning bolt. Well, the Grateful Dead have this many points. We have this many points. It's completely,
and it's kind of at a different angle, and it's still like, well, what's funny is like, as a fan of the Grateful Dead and the jam music scene,
yeah,
dude, do you know how often I see their imagery ripped off?
Yeah.
I mean, just like, dude, even out of people vending in parking lots, like, it's just kind of like, it's a good thing that they're pretty cool with the usage of that, because so there's like a lot of, I guess, inside humor to it, but even without knowing a thing about it, you could still get a laugh out of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, just the joke that they were playing. Like, I think they were talking about how, like, oh, well, this one has 11 points. And it's like, okay, yeah, we're also paying reference to Spinal Tap. With
that was their Spinal Tap moment there.
Yeah. But yeah, a graduate filmmaker chronicles a jam band's journey to a famous music festival. Yeah, so we get these 4 band members who really seem to think a bit much of themselves, but there's they're also not really all with it. No,
except for Herschel, the keyboardist. He seems like
true. Yeah, no, he actually seemed normal. Yeah,
kind of normal. Well, we'll get into it later, but like, but he's, let's just say Herschel is very spiritual.
Yes,
very into the spiritual thing.
This is like I said, it's very funny. Wait, Seth Green and Matt? No, they weren't actually in this movie. This is a real life movie. Why are they credited here? That's confusing.
This is a real life movie.
This is real. This really happened. This is a documentary, guys.
Well, Les did form these guys together, and they did play several series of shows. Like what you saw.
I figured there was probably something like that. Yeah,
and there is footage of that Sweetwater, or like not footage. I'm sorry, but there is like audio of that show. Like that Electric Apricot show exists on Taper's archive, which is usually where those tapers would upload all of their concerts that they record live. Yeah, it exists, man. I've listened to it. It's pretty wild. Like the songs that they play are like all the ones you hear, but just like sometimes they'll just play that main dig on it for like 15, 17 minutes.
Well, that so like it talks about how like they're a jam band. They like to just go up on stage and play, and it's like, okay, cool. And then they are like, okay, now we have to record an album. And holy shit, that was
it took them one day just to get the drum mic'd and ready to go.
Oh, dude, like he was just working on it so long. You just saw the hours passing, and it's like, oh my god.
It's going like, Lap's still doing the drums?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is all this? Is this on the track? No, these are drum sounds. No, we've just been getting drum sounds all day.
Yeah.
What do you mean you've been getting drum sounds all day?
It was very well orchestrated studio experience for them.
Getting them to each explain what Electric Apricot means and how their bass player was like, it's like, here's a steeple, and then inside here is the people. And Les is like, what's this about the steeple? This is the first time hearing of this.
Yeah.
And with the jam scene, there's always like a guitarist who is just super obsessed with Jerry Garcia.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with, hey, nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. Like we see that one bartender getting interviewed, and he's talking about like, hey, I don't like this music. It's like, okay, fine. He's like, I hate Jerry Garcia. It's like, okay, that's a bit hyperbolic. But then the guitarist feels need to go beat him up. I'm like, whoa.
Well, he said like he was glad that
Relax.
he said he was glad that guy died. I mean,
Yeah,
to
and
be
it's like
fair, I would have hit him for that too.
that is
Would have
pretty
hit him for
rough,
that.
but
Yeah, I would have hit him for that too. But I mean, I like the Grateful Dead too. I would just have said, "Well, fuck you, buddy."
yeah,
Just
that is pretty rough. But yeah,
this movie is wild, and it's so many of the people within this movie are like
mhm,
people within Les's inner circle, right?
mhm,
So, like the engineer,
mhm,
he's engineered every Primus album.
mhm.
Like that's
Of course.
every Les Claypool thing. Like that's him. That's him. That's the guy, dude.
Mhm.
I think the guy who played the bartender is like a buddy of theirs, a buddy of Les's, like somebody he grew up with or something like that. And for the record, yes, went to several Grateful Dead shows with.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. So I mean, essentially, yeah. Well, I remember they're trying to record the album, and it's like try and get the Burning Man or something like that. I had it stuck in my head the other day, but yeah. And
Hey,
then
are you going to Burning Man?
Yeah. But but essentially they're trying to explain. Well, the actual Burning Man concert was 7 days. We've been unsuccessfully trying to record this song for 5 days. So that means, we still got 2 days, so we're doing okay. It's like, what?
Yeah. You know who played the bass player's girlfriend in that scene?
No, who?
That was Gabby Yaya.
Yeah.
That's Gabby Yaya, the sitar player. So yeah, like a lot of friends, talented people within this and musically. I particularly loved all the excerpts of other artists that they had, like of Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
His excerpts were pretty hilarious. They're still funny as hell to me. Like the guitarist in the band, Gorgo, he has this tortilla that resembles Jerry Garcia.
Yes. If it looks like Jesus, he could sell it, but like Jerry Garcia.
I mean, that's only a limited market. But
Yeah.
as Bobby said, well, how did he know it wasn't Jesus?
Yeah, it could have been.
Tell me, as a fan of that, I've heard him make that comment about sequencers. I've heard him actually make that one in real life. What do you think of that? Go out there with a bunch of sequencers and have the song sound note for note perfect as it is on the album every night. To me, that just falls in the face of everything what American music is.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I kind of agree with him, like 100%.
Yeah, no, I do feel like, yeah. Here's one of the things I will definitely say when it comes to live music, guys. Play it fucking live. That's all. That's pretty much what I ask.
Yeah, just
play it live. Yeah. And if you can't like get a certain sound because you're limited on your players, figure out a way to work around it. That's part of the challenges of being a musician. But like,
make it work
also
with what you have.
As a fan of the music, I also appreciate when I hear different variations on these songs. So like, if you have a limitation, work around it. Don't just play backing stuff. Like that is like,
yeah.
I mean, there are exceptions to that where I'm like, okay, maybe if it's a very unique sound, I'm kind of okay with that. But like in general, no. In the words of a piece of shit, play it live.
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, this has a lot of fun cameos in it too. I particularly love the bits near the end where they're at Festeroo and they run into Matt Albs of Government Mule, which is a band I've also seen. They're amazing. They're like it's the best way I can describe them to you, Bob. They're like Southern rock and roll with some blues.
Okay.
Yeah. And Warren and Matt have been in it since the beginning. But Warren is the guy who the guitarist is also another big fan of, and he embarrasses himself by asking if he wants to go feed the ducks.
Oh, God. That's right. Yeah.
And what's funny is you see Les's character, who's the drummer, talking to Matt Albs, and if you notice with Matt, he's just looking at Les, trying not to laugh the whole time.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of this movie as being a big fan of Les, so I've seen it a few times.
Mm-hmm. I saw it last night, but yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do recommend checking it out. It is free on most streaming services.
Yeah, it's
So it's not
pretty
exactly tough to track
funny.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very funny.
And the music that they create is really not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Like that Burning Man song, like it gets kind of stuck in your head. It's not bad.
Backroads of My Mind. That one gets stuck in my head. And Uncle
Yeah.
Pete's Party, which is the very, very less Claypool-y sounded one on there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is and I guess being the Genesis fan, I have to reference the quick Genesis mention in this in this. There's not a whole lot to say other than that they bring up how they liked Phil Collins back in the day. They don't like his new poppier sound. And I will say, while I'm a fan of his 80s stuff, by the time this movie came out, yeah, his sound was not the same at all.
That's another moment where you see Matt just laughing and agreeing with him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
But they do reference Brand X, and yes, I have a few Brand X albums. And yeah, it's pretty good.
Another fun cameo in this is Mike Gordon of Fish, where he's like talking about like they should really drop the food name. It never really works out that well.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, actually, what's funny is he directed a documentary for Government Mule after their bass player passed, where they brought in a bunch of different bass players to record a tribute album for their fallen bass player. A lot of guys he loved and liked. Les was one of those guys. Mike filled in. Also, Phil Lesh of the Grateful Dead filled in on that album too. There's like what's it? Oh yeah, Bill Buford.
Oh sure, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
I guess he's done some stuff.
Who's the dude from Deep Purple?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I'm not
Roger Glover. Roger Glover.
That name's familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. He sits in on a track with them. They also do a live show and he plays like an old blues song with them, and it's kind of just that's cool. That's cool. But yeah. This is really good, and especially if you like Primus or Les's music, it can help you dive into a bit more of his range as a musician and art too.
Yeah,
because this is a very simple direction. You could tell this was just something obviously shot a couple of weekends with some friends in the camcorder.
For something that was very limited in its shooting budget, obviously, like it flows extremely well. Like you're not bored watching this. This is just like it. You know, there's plenty of jokes. It's very funny. I would recommend this to anybody who is a fan of Primus and or Spinal Tap.
So fun fact,
dive in.
Or I guess just fun fact. The story he tells about blowing glass and piece fell on him. So yeah. I have friends that are in the glass blowing business here in Columbus, and recently we were talking about this movie, and one of them said, "Hey, you know whose story that is? That's so and so's." So I guess that actually happened to like a friend of theirs, and they had once told Les this because they somehow knew him or some connection. They just somehow knew each other, or whatever. Or met, and he told him that story, and then like a few years later this movie came out. Let's use that story. Yeah, but like when I found out about it, it's like some molten hot glass on the scrotum happened. That's unfortunate. Like,
yeah,
friend, I feel really bad for him.
Jeez. I guess anything you want to add, or you want to move on to Star?
Yeah, no, just check. I try to recommend this movie out to everyone because it's just hilarious. I think it's just hilarious.
I recommend it too. Like, what's its rating? 6.6. It deserves a better rating. It's not particularly high budget, but it deserves a better rating. It's definitely like it's funny. It's
one of those
it's awesome
gems. It's one of those gems that kind of almost went under the radar.
Yeah.
And also, how I said to you, I hope you realize the quote that I said. My first show, I said, well, you only record your first podcast once.
Yeah. You're just being picky.
Couldn't help it.
Yeah, you only record your
yes.
first album once.
And if you could find a copy of it, pick it up because it's rarely in print.
Damn.
I want to thank the good people at Troma.
Oh, nice.
Is where I saw this last year, actually. At
I saw the Troma credits, yeah.
Yes, at Horror Hound is where I'm standing in line, actually, to meet Lloyd Kaufman. And I look down, I'm just very loud. Holy shit! Take my money. Somebody's like, holy crap, man, yeah. Because the guy I talked to, he's like, yeah, we found a box of those like earlier. I was hoping you'd come back by because I was going to point out to him, like, nope, I'm buying this. Yep.
Nice.
This is mine. Yeah.
All right. So tenuous Spinal Tap connection here. We'll end up diving into one of my favorite Star Trek Voyager episodes. Voyager is actually a series I'm not a huge fan of. I like old Star Trek, but like Voyager is definitely towards the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
That being said, I love this episode.
I could see why.
Yeah.
This one was very overall campy.
Oh God, it's campy, but it's dark. Like it's well done. It's well done camp is a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
So the tenuous Spinal Tap connection is this one. The big guest star on this one is Michael McKean.
Nigel Houghton
plays the clown.
Nigel Houghton. Or no, he's David. He's David St. Ovens.
Yeah, he's David St. Ovens. Yeah, Nigel.
Christopher Guest is Nigel. Christopher Guest.
Yeah, Christopher Guest. Yeah. So yeah, I just watched this the other day because it was one I wanted to show. Like I was trying to think of a good episode to show my daughter before they left for the weekend, and I was like, I haven't shown you this one. This one's a really cool little like horror episode.
There's some parts where I was like, wow, this was lighthearted a second ago. Like, what happened to that beat?
Well, yeah. So essentially, Voyager encounters a planet where there's 5 stasis pods. Are supposed to be in stasis for 15 years while the planet recovers. Voyager shows up and is like, well, the planet's recovered. Why haven't they woken up? And then they figure out they've been in stasis for 19 years. And they're like, well, okay, let's go down there. And 3 of the 5 people are still alive. 2 of them have apparently died from like a heart attack. And they're like, okay, what's going on? So they decide to send Harry and B'Elanna in there, which is a little insane. But okay, Harry and B'Elanna go in there. And they encounter a holographic program where all the worst aspects of the people has been created by this holographic program, which includes the embodiment of fear as played by Michael McKean. And there's good things to praise about this episode. I think it's well paced. I think it's, there's some good direction. It's kind of clever how they set up the ending because they plant all the pieces coming in, and then when the ending comes together, it's like, oh yeah, of course. But I think the anchor that makes the episode as good as it is Michael McKean.
I made that click immediately. Mm-hmm. Where as soon as Janeway, well, not to spoil it, but right as soon as she had listed their terms and they got all the other people out of there, right then I was like, oh, you idiot! You went for that, you idiot! This is a classic Federation bait and switch.
Yeah, dude, Bobby, had you seen this episode before today?
No.
Okay, what were your thoughts?
I enjoyed this. I liked the elements, like the themes that they were tackling with it. I think a virus somehow embodying the worst of any select group of people.
Yeah,
is a pretty terrifying thought. Like it's got the makings for a great I want to say Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I don't think Twilight Zone would go that route. That's maybe more of a Tales from the Crypt.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but Twilight Zone could work too. Yeah, maybe Outer Limits. Mm-hmm. But one of those serial ships. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
I like how this one looked and was shot the most. because it was almost like a 60s episode.
Well, I mean,
didn't
you could
feel
tell,
like
like,
it was in the
obviously
90s.
they didn't have a huge budget, so it was kind of a closed set. But like, it's pretty much like almost pure circus environment, with creepy fucking circus music. They tweaked the music just enough to make it like
Oh
off-putting,
yeah,
which is nice. Yeah,
it was a little creepy.
yeah. And then essentially you find out like all this joyful stuff is just pure horror to the actual people there. They're being tortured. One of I wanted to highlight this shot because I love what they do with this shot, because this is the point where they're actually like strapping down Harry, and you see him reaching down with the knife. He's gonna go cut him open, and I love how the camera just follows the knife. It does get interrupted until the doctor blocks it off.
Yeah,
It's like that was a clever way to do that. Just get the audience focused on that shit, because you don't want us looking at everything. You want us focused on the knife, because it's like, shit, is he gonna cut him? He's not gonna cut him. It's Harry. But it's like, oh shit. I like that. I like how, like, when we see the fall of this dude, it's all set up. Like, we see all the pieces into place. Like, they get the hint of deactivating X techno babble thing to eliminate things from the program. We know it takes a few minutes for him to realize if there's an actual brain in there. And yeah, by the way, this guy can read your thoughts and tortures you accordingly. And then that's how come essentially he allows Bulana to get out. So essentially, tell her, get the fuck away. We're done. We're not, not letting the people out. And that's when they send the doctor in, because he's a hologram. But essentially they establish they can send a hologram.
As soon as he said, as soon as that, I'm just like, oh, so they have their exit strategy right there.
Yeah.
Done. I know. Let's see what the crew does. And
oh yeah, the most important scene.
I really was hoping there'd be more to this. I'm a little disappointed there's not.
This is a little light scene at the beginning. Doesn't really it just connects enough to show that Harry's lighthearted, I guess, and essentially it gives Tom something to do, because he's not in this episode really outside of this.
Ew, as I texted you, ew, Jazz. Ew.
Yeah. But yes, this
I'm kidding, of course.
Oh yeah, I assumed.
Yeah, no, I love Jazz.
Oh, and we gotta talk about the ending. So like, to spoil the whole fucking episode, go watch it. Even if you know the ending, it's worth watching, because it's essentially the episode. Like, when I was watching it recently, I was like, wow, it seems like it's been on for a while, but are they close to an ending? And then it's like everything wraps up very quickly, but it doesn't feel rushed, because it's like everything was naturally put in place. So when it ends, like, oh, yep, that would be
like
it.
Everything is falling right where it needs to be, and it's just perfectly in.
But like in the most Janeway moment at the end of this episode, everything's lost in the environment. It's just her and fear, the embodiment of fear. And fear tells Janeway, I'm afraid. And in the fucking creepiest voice she could muster, she just goes, I know. It's like, I know. Oh, fuck Janeway.
Yeah, it's just more of like, episodes like this are ones of Discovery that make me think, okay, this is when it's good, like really good. They need more episodes like this. And that's my biggest complaint with this series of them. But yes, she was like, ooh.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Janeway right now.
Yeah, which is why I always say it's unfair to put her in a captain ranking, because the other ones would never do this. She ain't above it. She ain't above it.
She
ain't above the psychological warfare. Yeah, she ain't above the psychological warfare.
But yeah, this is one of the few Voyager episodes from the earlier seasons that I absolutely love. Yeah, it just works really well. Maybe it works better because there's less Chakotay too, and he is bland as fuck. But yeah, this is a great episode. Great Star Trek episode. Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No, I enjoyed this. This was a good recommendation. Thank you for it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll scatter more random Star Trek episodes just for fun. But yeah. Yeah. I think that's it for the show. I mean,
Yeah, that is. Let's see here. What do we got?
I think we
next
have more of
week?
a regular show for next week, but
Yeah, we do.
let me.
Oh, Nicholas, didn't even see you there. Hey, bud, sorry.
Hey, we're busy. We're talking about
Yeah.
Primus and
We were
Star Trek.
talking about
We're
Primus and
busy.
Star Trek. Sorry, bud.
Busy.
Didn't see you.
Mhm. Let's see. Let me bring up. I know I had to originally it was going to be
See
Ghost
who
in the
else
Shell, but I
here.
didn't realize the Crow was coming out. So we'll do. I know next week we're doing the. I
Do-
think
do
next week
we-
we're doing
do-
the original Crow.
Do we have to watch the new one?
I have it on the agenda. I thought it looked all right. I know lots of people are upset at it, but I don't know. It looks fine to me. We'll see.
I kind of agree with what the original director said. It should be left alone as a legacy to Brandon. That's my
I don't know.
thoughts. That's my thoughts.
As much as I don't know, Alex probably is. As much as I like his earlier work, The Crow has always been a comic book franchise, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with exploring more stuff with it. But we will see. But yeah, we're gonna cover the original Crow next week, so we'll cover the Brandon one, and then we're returning to Superman and Lois after God knows how many years.
Wait. What about the Edward Furlong sequel? What about Eddie Furlong?
We're not. Listen, I've never seen those sequels, and I'm not going to.
Well, he only starred in 2 different sequels of franchises that I've known of, other than the obvious one. He was in the Pet Cemetery one, and that's got a
Clancy.
That's got a Clancy Brown playing a possessed guy.
Hey, well, Clancy,
And he's
can't go wrong.
He's a dick.
Yeah, Clancy
Like,
Brown playing a dick.
Yeah, he is such an undead dick. It's kind of beautiful.
But yeah, we got the original Crow. We're going back to Superman and Lois after. God damn, this was early days of the podcast when we covered season 1.
A few years now.
Yeah, so we'll get to season 2 because that series is actually ending in a few months,
and we'll get to all the other stuff eventually.
Yeah, and then Alien Romulus, which I am hopeful for. Again,
optimistic about it.
Yeah, it looks
I'm
alright.
nervous though,
We'll
because
see.
this is the project that they redirected the 3rd installment of the Prometheus trilogy for.
Well, that's the thing. So Alien Covenant was pretty far off from what they wanted from what he wanted to do for the second one too. So
yeah, and I think it was like because he wanted to continue Prometheus storyline with the engineers, and I think that Fox wanted a movie with an alien chasing people on a space station.
Exactly. Yes.
And it was either that or they kick a oh god, what his name? Ridley Scott. Or they were going to kick Ridley off the project, so he's like, okay, I'll give you that.
But then, I mean, he's off the project already, so we'll see. He's
also off the project for the television show. I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I'm optimistic.
It can't be worse than Resurrection.
Yeah, it really
can't.
It
can't be worse than either AVP movie.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing worse than Resurrection is AVP 2. God damn.
Or Predators.
I like Predators.
Look, that has Adrian Brody and Walter Goggins. Yeah.
You know what?
Prey was a better idea.
Predator. Oh, Prey was much better. Oh yeah, Prey was awesome.
The Predator.
Yeah,
oh, that's right. The other time they remade it. That's right.
Yeah,
that one fucking sucked. That one fucking sucked.
Listen, man, I will give some credit to Predators, but the Predator, especially with the talent behind that. That had
years ago. A good buddy of mine. Actually, my buddy who I'm going to be going to a Horror Hound with, along with meeting up with you, but a friend of ours, we had both already seen Prey, and we went to a Horror Hound a few years ago, and like at the end of the first night, he's like, "Let's watch a scary movie, guys," because we had gotten a B&E. So we're like, "Yeah, man, okay, yeah. How about Prey? Have you seen that? I haven't heard anything about it. What is it? Like something about like natives fighting a monster?" Me and my one other friend, we just looked at each other and grinned, and went, "Yeah, man, that's exactly what
I mean,
that's about."
You're not wrong. You're not.
And so right until the reveal, like as soon as like he
Yeah.
saw like the silhouette of the Invisible, he just looked at both of us. This is a fucking Predator movie? Prey. Oh my god. Why did I not put it together right there? And he was just, he kept going on and how mad he was that he didn't put the Prey Predator thing together.
It is I do like that title. I like how they play with it with that title.
And it was just more of like anytime he saw it when the French hunters, he's like, "Oh, you dumb motherfuckers, you are not." And I went, me and my buddy would see it. We're just looking at each other, snickering because, yep, this is, pretty great, right? It's a pretty awesome movie, right?
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait for them to go more into it. I want them to.
Yeah, I hope they do. Yeah, that is it for this week. Let's see. I'm streaming on Thursday. I'm pretty sure we will do some sort of initiative stream on Wednesday.
Oh, you had somebody in here from the initiative stream. Whoa, WOOW.
Oh yeah,
3620.
Wow, yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah, no. So I was watching that as I was getting set up. Edgier Than Thou. Another great YouTube channel. You guys should check it out. You guys should also subscribe to Bobby over here. He needs more love. But Bobby Quarters. But yeah, Edgier Than Thou was talking to kind of a centrist who was essentially defending people like Nerdrotic and stuff like that. And it was a little infuriating, but Edgier Than Thou was making some good points. So
that's always at least a good one. So, yeah, it's hard to defend those people.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry. For me, it's like.
But sorry to cut you off. But by the way, did you watch Tom Cruise's thing at the closing Olympics at all?
No, I did not.
I know he did some stunts. Yeah, neither have I. I know he did some stunt.
Yeah.
It's upset people.
I heard that he was involved, and I don't. Well, everybody was getting offended over the Olympics, and it was like they were offended over the parody of the Last Supper. It's like it wasn't even the Last Supper. For fuck's sake, can you people learn shit?
And let's just talk about how much modern American Christianity borrows from
other cultures,
other cultures all over the world. Like the whole idea of it is pretty much a copy paste, but hey. Semantics.
And then
the boxer.
Yeah, I was about to say the outrage over a cisgender woman beating up a cisgender woman in a boxing match, and everybody calling her trans, even though she's not trans, coming from a country where being trans is actually illegal.
It's executable, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes. Yeah. And I'm like, you people are ridiculous. Stop it. She's not trans.
It just shows how much people think of the world outside of the confines of the United States of America.
Well, it also shows how people will just take information and regurgitate it without thinking about it. Yeah, because Lia Thomas was actually declined a spot in the Olympics. And she is actually trans. So like when they were saying, "Oh, trans boxer," I was like, that doesn't fit because they were declining letting trans people compete.
Well, I hear Jake Paul.
Whatever you feel about that.
Well, don't worry. I hear Jake Paul is going to come and fight in the men's division of boxing in the 2018 Olympics, even though they decided to get rid of boxing this year for that year of the Olympics moving forward.
He just needs pounded into oblivion.
Mike Tyson will do that, Bob.
Please, Mr. Tyson, destroy him. I am done with him. He is a useless sack of flesh.
Yes. I just I more think like when I first read that he challenged Tyson, he challenged a man who bit another man's ear off.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Tyson.
Iron Mike Tyson. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like the only things I would ever say to Mike Tyson are "sir."
Yeah,
that's it.
But real quick, Bobby's Primus Claypool. Yeah,
Bobby's pretty much.
Primus playlist is in the chat. Make sure you go check out.
It's less too.
Yeah,
I think I might have put Electric Apricot songs in there.
Ooh.
Might have.
But
Because there's no real official release for them, or at least one.
oh
I've been able
yeah,
to
I was kind of
track
wondering
down.
about that. Yeah.
I mean, there's like the movie, and like no, there is not. There is not Electric Apricot in there. I am gonna fix that. I will
Yeah.
fix that. And put those
All
on.
right. But everyone, have a good one. Party on and be
Take
excellent
care.
with each other.